Hey everyone, it's Brandy and you are watching Abstract Crafter. Today's video is going to be the first store up for post review. I finished the first set of the Amazon project canvases, and this was actually store 5, and it happened to be the smallest canvases, and I needed to use this one for another project, which you saw in the last video, or in one of the last videos I should say. I wanted to hurry up and get one done and get started, and I'll just keep on going through this, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about how the rest of the post reviews are going to go for the Amazon project. So if you want to see what I thought about the finished version of these paintings, then just keep on watching and we will get into that as soon as I roll that intro credits. Yay! So the time has come. Finally, a post review on the Project Amazon project, whatever we're calling it. So yeah, you've seen this one completed already, but you didn't really get to hear all of my thoughts on it. So we're gonna do a comprehensive post review on these paintings. And as a little refresher, I got this 2-pack from the Anxi store, Anxi, or it was the full name, Yiwu City Anxi E-Commerce Company Ltd. That's what my billing said anyway. I purchased these guys for $10.99, roughly $5.49 each. And whatever the current price is as of editing, I will put that right here for you. And we will get into some side-by-sides in a little bit here. We're gonna talk about each canvas individually, and then we'll talk about them as a whole. I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible, because nobody wants to hear me go on and on about a completed canvas. They just want to know what I thought quickly, possibly what the score is if you're into that, and if I recommend the store or not. So all of that and more we will talk about. So shipping isn't really an issue. I got it on Prime. I got it in 3 days total. They were advertised as a 25 by 30, but it did also give it in inches. I don't remember that information offhand, whatever 25 by 30 is. I guess we could double check super fast. I think it was like, yeah, like it's supposed to be 12 by 10 by 12. Yeah, that's what it was advertised as. It's a 10-inch by 12-inch. So after measuring, we did note that this is actually, the canvas size is the 25 by 30, and the actual picture itself is just shy of 25 by 20. So quite a bit smaller, and I did say in the unboxing that I kind of get a little annoyed with that. It never used to bother me, but then with the smaller pictures, it does bother me because it's already small. So it would have been nice if it was the actual whole picture size, but nonetheless, here we are. So I suppose I can separate them out so you can see them both. And don't be blinded by the hollow. I just thought it would go good with this canvas here. And I tried to be matchy with this one. And this is a duochrome tape that goes from teal to green to yellow. Yeah, that's it. I did make some enhancements to the canvases. I kind of wish I would have made a few more looking back, and we'll get into that as we talk about each individual canvas, but I will point out the enhancements are here and in the words on Hello Fall. I made those into AB gems that I had extras of. My initial plan was to also do it on Life is Sweet, but I didn't have enough variation of colors that I liked anyway for that, whereas I had the exact colors, well, close enough to the exact colors for these words here, because I did the little dots, and then I was going to do the leaves in the ABs, but I did have 2 oranges and a yellow and a green, but there's also a light green, and I could have just substituted those, but I don't know, I guess my OCD doesn't let me do that. If I don't have 5, then I can't switch it out. I don't know. It's an annoying problem that is sometimes a blessing and sometimes a curse. So, let me find my page of notes that I have. So in the unboxing, it got an 8.5, which I was kind of bummed about having to do that because I really did like the canvases themselves. But they were rolled up and bent, and I did end up having to iron both of them, and you can still see, I mean, a little dirt, but you can still see a little bit of the creasing still there, but it didn't, once I ironed it, it did not affect the canvases. So why don't we start with Life is Sweet, the popsicle, since that's the first one I did. And again, you already saw a lot of this one if you watched the other video, the finishing canvases. It was the combo video of canvas prep and finishing tips, tricks, and techniques video that I put up before this. So you would have seen bits and pieces of this. All the colors you would have seen me put away. But I didn't really want to talk too much in depth about the actual canvas. I wanted to save it for the post review. So, we'll talk about these individually, and then we'll go back to some things like cohesive things as far as a total kit is concerned. And, oh, don't be blinded by my nail. My husband got me a gel nail kit for my birthday, and this is a mirror chrome powder that I was experimenting with. I wanted to film, so I didn't finish the nails. So just in case you're distracted by that. It was my first time ever doing gel nail polish, so I'm pretty excited about that. Anyhow, we'll talk more about that in a drill with me. Back to the canvas. Overall, I think that the canvas, it's a little pixelated, but it's not... Let's see. It doesn't bother me as much as, say, the Saner Direct ones did, because those were landscapes full of detail. These are very simplistic, and not a whole lot of detail goes into them to be able to tell them, you know, what they are. I can clearly tell that they are popsicles. I did substitute, like I said, the white are ABs, and then the camera doesn't do a very good job of picking it up, but let me tell you, in real life, that sparkle, and I'll show you that here, so long as the tape doesn't take away from it. But you can see how beautifully it sparkles. If you remember from the unboxing, if you need a refresher, go, well, I'll link it up in the eye, but both kits had different diamonds. This one did have DMCs attached to the diamonds that came with this one. And this color where it says Life, that color there is what I substituted with the ABs. So they didn't really seem to do as much as I thought they would in the way of adding an extra sparkle to the background. At least not on camera. In real life, I'm getting all those glimpses of different colors. As far as like the words go, I thought maybe once the drills were adhered, you might be able to tell it what it said. I have no problems reading it, and in the camera, it looks alright. I was concerned about the word is, and I still have trouble seeing it, and if you get a little up close, you can tell that it doesn't really look like much of anything, whereas you can still kind of make out the word life. And the word sweet would appear a little better, but the T is missing its top. And I could probably go in and just replace a couple drills just to make that stand out a little bit. But I didn't want to alter the picture too much. Replacing them with these AB gems is one thing, because it's not altering the image as far as a post review goes. And I could do that, and I would just have to take that into consideration when I'm reviewing it. The one thing that I really wish I could have changed, and I may still, is like this is a banana a banana pop. I wish that was a little bit more yellow instead of brown. And this one is supposed to be a chocolate pop, and I just think there should be a little bit more distinction between those. And the other thing that kind of gets on my nerves a little bit is instead of using blue, Like right here should be blue, and right here, if you go, I'll show you the thumbnail picture. You can see right there that it's a rocket pop. A traditional rocket pop is red, white, and then blue. I'm not sure what kind of pop that is, but they very clearly show it as a blue, and they replaced it with purple there and there, so they don't look like they should. A couple things with that, you know, and then I wish that maybe these browns were used as the popsicle sticks instead of the gray that they used. I don't know. So the colors, the overall color family is not as accurate as I would like it to be. With that being said, I probably, before I frame these, because I am framing them because I find them adorable, I probably will go in and switch out the colors that I don't like and make them the proper color, because if I'm going to frame it, I want it to be complete. And then I'll probably fix that T. If that's something that you want to see in a video, let me know. I've never really been big on changing the image of a canvas. I've always just wanted to keep it. I've always thought that the sellers know best, and so I'll stick with that. But this is just clearly a case where I don't really agree with them. The rest of the popsicles I think are okay, especially for the size. I think they did pretty well. And like, again, that's the green popsicle, and I don't really know what popsicle that is. It kind of looks like a chocolate covered ice cream cone, really. So, and you can see here that this is almost a neon yellow, and in the picture itself it's brown. It's just tan. So I'll probably, like I said, go through and switch out a lot of these colors to make it a little bit more of what I would like to see, especially since I'm going to be framing it. And like I said, let me know. I'll even put a poll up there if you don't want to leave a comment. Let me know if you want to see me redo this canvas and pull out the colors I don't like and exchange them with the ones that I think should be there. I have a large collection. I have plenty of drills to make this happen, so let me know. But I just didn't want to do that at the time. I want to score it as it is. So other than that, I am incredibly happy with this. I think I might change this color pink too, just to have it different than the rest. I don't know. There's a few things that I could do. I don't want to start ripping out every drill and replacing all of them, but why don't we put in a side-by-side here so you can have a better idea of what I'm talking about as for the colors. So we'll put that in right here. Okay, these drills were already put away. They were put away in that video I told you about, the, canvas prep and finishing tips, tricks, and techniques video. Oh, and I whistled at you, so sorry. They were put away in that video as part of a demonstration in that video, but there were plenty of leftovers, especially with this color that I replaced the ABs with. Obviously, I had a ton of those left over. There was almost no garbage. And the only drill issue I had, which wasn't even that big of a deal, was with the black ones. They were a little inconsistent in size, and the only garbage I found, again, was in the black, and it was little black, little plastic bits that you find here and there. There was a ton of those, but other than that, I didn't find any garbage out of any of the other drills. The only garbage I really got was from my ABs and the black. I don't know if I'll be able to show you. A lot of the black ones had little, because I used to do really close-ups of the canvas so you could see that, and I don't know why I stopped doing that. But if I were to continue doing that, it would be very helpful. I'm trying to see if I can find some examples of what I'm trying to tell you about. Essentially, some of the black ones have like little tabs that stuck out on them. And with rounds, it's not a big deal because you can push that little piece of tab in between where the space is empty. Whereas with squares, if that were to happen, it would just be a done deal. I'm trying to find one, but if I don't find one really quickly here, I'll just... Okay, so this one right above the white. I don't know how well, the light's kind of bouncing off of it. It's like a tube coming off of it of extra, and there was a lot like that, and I'm seeing a ton of dog hairs. They're not so easy to show because it's black and the background's black, but that was a very big issue. And it wasn't even like I could just work around them because they were greater in number than drills that didn't have the deficits. But again, like I said, with rounds, I don't really consider that an issue because it's so easy to hide that on the canvas. And again, like I said, with squares, you just wouldn't be able to use that. I've had that issue before, and I had to buy all new replacements for the color that had that issue. So if we move on to the truck, I just find this one totally adorable. Well, at least I did before I finished it. There's a few things I don't like about this one as well, but it's just personal issues. Otherwise, I think this turned out so cute. I absolutely love it. I wish the leaves were a little more detailed, but for the size given, I think it looks really well. I love the way that the wording turned out, that I replaced that with the ABs, and then I'll show you the sparkle of this one after. So you can see here, I did the white there, and then where it called for the blue, I put blue in, and then over on the word fall, it had the green, white, and blue. And let me tell you, blue AB gems have got to be my favorite. I don't know if you can see the coding specifically on this one. It's blue and purple and pink, and so beautiful. The white ones are a combination of ABs from 3 different style kits. So Diamond Dots, Leisure Arts, which is essentially Diamond Dots, and then one that I had gotten off of Amazon. Actually, it was a 4 Seasons tree, the first original 4 Seasons I ever did. So there are 2 styles of white in there, and the cuts on them are very different. So if you can see here, this has got these 2 where my finger is pointing have a lot more cuts on them, and the ones next to it are kind of like, they're more flat on top, whereas these 2 in the middle come up to a point. I don't know which company they belong to. I'm pretty sure, because I know the blues came from Diamond Dots, that those ones probably came from the Amazon kit that I had got. But I think it just did a little nice job to enhance. So you can see here in the sparkle, and again, you're going to see sparkle more on the darker colors in this lighting than you are on the lighter ones. And that's really why the ABs aren't sparkling as much for you. I'm trying to go at different angles to force them to sparkle, but I mean, you can just see how gorgeous both of them because of the black background. So when you start getting into it and you're doing pictures with black backgrounds, just keep that in mind, that the blacks sparkle the best. I don't know why it is. Well, I mean, I know why it is, but I don't want to like explain it to you or anything. We don't have time for that. So I think this had the same kind of issue as this one, where the colors were kind of muddied and not enough definition is given. Like, you can see a little bit of it, but there could have been a little bit more done, especially like in the wheel wells and like in the pumpkins. I think that the colors are just a little light, and they could have switched out and put a couple reds in there for that basket. Since that's supposed to be apples and these are supposed to be pumpkins, you really can't tell. And I also kind of wish that the basket was brown versus gray, but that, again, personal preference. I had the same issue with the drills on this one, except instead of the tab issue, I was having consistency issues. So I think there's 2 bags total of the black, which did not come with DMCs again, and I don't know if it's going to be super obvious, but like there's one right here where you can tell that it was kind of like scraped or cut, so the shine is lost. But I was noticing the first half of the canvas that I worked on, the drills were normal size, nice and big, and then when I think that's more down here, but then as I started working with the second bag, the drills were a lot smaller, and there's a lot more space between. And it makes it so that it's hard to keep them evenly spaced because they're pushing on each other, or they're leaving a ton of extra space. That's not something you're going to notice once you're done working on it. So it's not something I'm super like upset or worried about. Oh, but why don't we go ahead and I'll show you this thumbnail since I showed you the thumbnail. And you can see even here how the pumpkins look more orange. There's a lot more definition on the tops of the wheels, and even in the basket there. It's not brown, it is gray in the picture, I'll give them that. But the apples do appear red. So I'm going to put in a side-by-side of this one so that you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. So, I mean, yeah, for the size, I think they turned out really good. I think in even like going up 2 to 3 sizes bigger, and you would have got that detail that is lacking here, and you probably would have got better color selection too. When they're this small, you almost don't want too many more colors than what was already given, because then they're really, I don't know, you're really going to be losing detail. You can imagine if this actually had the red and the orange and all the colors that is shown in the thumbnail, that it would have just looked like a blob of colors. So I think they did the best with the size that they could. They didn't offer this in any other size, so that is really unfortunate. I would like to find this in a bigger size, and I think it would look really cute to have a mini and a big one, like on a wall somewhere, especially in autumn. I have a hard time finding autumn themed pictures, so for me that would be super great. So why don't we talk about these as a 2-pack. I was gonna say a cohesive 2-pack, but it was anything but cohesive, and then we'll do scoring really fast. So as far as a cohesive 2-pack, they do look like they go together, with them being Blackboard and having the little quotes on them, hello fall, life is sweet, that kind of thing. And with having like things that are flowing around in the background, I thought was really cute. They're consistent in the fact that because they're so small, they're limited with their colors. And I think some of the color choices could have been better, even given the limited amount. I think some of these lighter colors could have been substituted for more orangey colors, especially over here, could have been red. And I'm just noticing it now, but in this popsicle, this color isn't pink, it's actually lavender in there. It's like a pinky lavender, but I think color selection could have been better when it came to both of these. I think that they're just a little subdued for what they were advertised to be. The drills were from different companies. They were different. So this one came with DMCs, and the drills themselves are a company that I have worked with many, many times when it comes to rounds. These ones had no DMCs, and we actually, in a video, did find the DMCs for some of these, I do believe. I think they featured in the review of the Diamond Painting 911 book. So, inconsistent, which is, it wouldn't have been so bad if there would have been more colors in common, but there was only 2 colors in common. The 310s and 762, which is an off-whitish color. It's kind of a cream color. Those are the only 2 colors in common, so I couldn't even like look from picture to picture, which isn't their fault. That was just something I was hoping for. And I did save the leftovers for the truck, just so you can get an idea. It was about the same for both pictures, the amount of leftovers, especially like the 967, I was reading that upside down, especially for the ones that I replaced. So some of them have more, but it was pretty consistent as far as extras go. It seemed like they gave you about 50 over of each color, and then of course with the black you get a lot more, and that was pretty even across the board. And again, the only numbers that they had in common was the 310 and the 762, which I am actually looking at it, it's more like a very light gray color. So those, and that speaks very highly to the quality of the drills. And when I finish a project, when I'm done with a color, I will still look through it and try to pull garbage out of it before I put them away into permanent storage, because I don't want to put away garbage into permanent storage. It doesn't do me any good there. So, alright, why don't we do a side-by-side here of the cohesive 2-pack, and I'll try to put it the long way in the camera, and then we will get on to scoring, and we'll talk about what's next with these 2 canvases, because I do have another video in which I would like to feature these, but I want to leave that up to you guys. So I'm going to put that side by side here. Okay, so let's do scoring, and then we'll talk about my thoughts. I just want to make sure that there was nothing else that I had going on here. Alright, so again, if you remember, the unboxing did score an 8.5 out of 10, which is the very minimum as far as where I would recommend or not recommend a store. Anything below 8.5 and I kind of more iffy about, and kind of might suggest looking at more reviews. Not necessarily not buying from, but looking at more reviews. So let's see what this scored, and then we'll figure out what the overall score is. And I'm just going to say it again. I say it in every video, but in case there's people that haven't watched the other videos in which I explain this, the 2 points that I allotted for recommendation, as far as if I would buy from the store again or if I would recommend it to you guys, instead of 2 points, it's 1 point. And the point I took away, I put in to the description accuracy, since that is really all we have to go on as far as what we see and what helps us decide if we're going to buy or not. So, scoring guideline for a post review. So I allow 2 points for image quality, and I assign those points by asking myself, was this picture clear or pixelated? Was the size offered a good fit? So it's not super pixelated. It is pretty clear, but there are some points that are hard to read, and there are some details that are hard to make out. So the image quality isn't super bad, and considering that this is the only size offered, it is an okay fit. It's not a good fit. I mean, it is what it is. You can't get a different size from this company. So for that reason, I am only giving it 1 point for image quality. The bead quality was, with the exception of the blacks, which I was still able to work with them pretty well, so I will give them the 1 point for the overall bead quality. The glue was really good. It wasn't super tacky or slippery or anything like that. It was about as good as you want it to be for working on a canvas, so I will give them the 1 point for the glue quality. The fun factor was totally there. I had a lot of fun working on these projects. I always like working on smaller projects because you can see the image transform so much quicker. So yes, I will give it the 1 point for the fun factor. I am going to take a half a point off for canvas condition and only assign it a half a point because I did have to iron it. I don't think that I could have worked on it in the condition they arrived to me in. Maybe, but I didn't want to take that chance. There was some pretty big creases in it, and it did come out fairly well, so I will still give it a half a point. The simple clarity was, for the most part, it was really good. I'm not going to take any points away, just simply because they were clear, but in this particular canvas, they were a little hard on the eyes, I'd say. But they were very clear, and I could tell what the symbols were. I think for me, in my eyes personally, it just got to be a lot. I do wear glasses, I do have bad eyesight, and that is part of it, and I work at night, so I'm not going to take any points away because they were really clear, and anybody with better eyes than me was going to be able to see them better than me. So the communication, I did not need to communicate, so that just becomes a free point. So again, 1 point for the simple clarity, 1 point for communication, 1 point for recommendation. Would you buy from this store again? And I would. I want to try to see if they have something bigger and see if the quality improves, because like I said, they don't offer, not many stores on Amazon do. There are very small amount of companies or stores that will allow you to choose between like 2 or 3 sizes, but this unfortunately was not one. So I would like to try something a little bit bigger than a 30 by 25, really 25 by 20. I'd like to find something a little bigger than that and be able to judge them based on that. So for now, yes, I do recommend this store. And the description accuracy, in the unboxing, I did note that it was a really accurate description. They did give you both the canvas size, the image size, and inches. They showed pictures of the canvases themselves. So I will give them the 1 point for description accuracy. So that gives them an overall 8.5 out of 10. And with the unboxing being an 8.5 out of 10, that will obviously even itself out. So the total score for Anxi is an 8.5 out of 10. I do recommend looking to see if anybody else has bought from this store. If you bought these paintings or any other paintings from this store, please share your experiences down below, good or bad, and let us know so that people have other things that they can base their decision on as far as if they would like to buy or not. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say don't buy from them. Read the reviews on Amazon. See if you can find other reviews. Check my comment section for other people's insight as far as their orders have gone, their experiences from the same store. And don't just take my word for it. And that goes for any review that I do. My opinion is just my opinion. I am not the end all be all. I am not the last decision making point or whatever that you should be asking in other places and reading other reviews. I mean, I'm honored if you want to just take my word for it. But I myself do read multiple reviews. I don't just go off of 1 or 2. I try to get as much information as possible before I make a purchasing decision, especially if I'm on the fence. So, I have one last question for you guys before I let you go. I'm reaching across, I'm so sorry. But I did go ahead and pick up a couple of frames for these. So, if you guys want to see me switch out the drills with drills that I think are more appropriate, that'll be one poll. There'll be another poll if you want to see this in a framing video, or if you just want to skip it and wait for a different different canvas to be framed. These are ones, obviously I bought bigger frames so that I could put a matting around them. So this will be a different style of framing than in my previous video. I don't normally put the matting around the canvases, but I've done it like twice. It's not easy to do, so it might be good to do a video to show you guys how I do the matting for pictures. But that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know again down in the comments what you thought of these. Did you purchase these? Did you purchase something else from the store? Don't forget to answer the polls or leave the comments relating to if you want to see me exchange the colors and the framing down below. You can answer that in the poll or in the comments, whatever way you prefer. And yeah, so with that, I will let you go. Have an awesome day, friends. Have fun diamond painting. Have fun crafting. Have fun doing whatever it is that makes you happy. I love you, friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.